If there was a simple way to take stunning pictures of the Milky Way, so striking and so unique that your friends beg you for prints, would you be interested? What if you didn't have to look up at the stars in frustration at your complicated camera, because you knew exactly how to set it up for the perfect shot? My name is Josh Dunlop, and here's something few people know. You can take amazing pictures of the stars 10 times better than you can imagine now with nothing more than a basic DSLR camera. Pictures so vibrant and bold that others might accuse you of stealing them from National Geographic. You don't need fancy equipment and you don't need expensive training. And I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this. I took this picture before discovering what I'm about to share with you. And as you can see, it's a decent picture, but it won't win any awards. Now look at this. I took this picture just a week later. Same location, same camera, same equipment, slightly different tree. The only difference was my approach. During the week between my first and second photo, I attended a closed-door workshop with master Milky Way photographer Casey Kiernan, one of the best in the world at what he does. I went to him because he's like the Michael Jordan of Milky Way photography, and he has the awards to prove it. His work has won the Gila Time-Lapse Film Festival, the Los Angeles Independent Film Festival, and the California Film Awards. His pictures have been featured in CBS News, Al Jazeera, History Channel, and more. When professional photographers want to improve their night shots, they call Casey. And when I met Casey, I already knew most of what there is to know about photography. I've been a photographer and trainer for over 6 years and have over 50,000 happy students. But I really didn't know the first thing about Milky Way photography. To be honest, I was a little embarrassed that I was fumbling around with my camera, struggling to get a half-decent shot. But the things I learned from him forever changed how I think about and approach taking pictures of the stars. With his help, it was simple. You see, everything I thought I knew about Milky Way photography was challenged. I thought you needed top-of-the-line equipment, but there's techniques for taking pro-level shots with a newbie's gear. I thought the process was complicated and hard to learn. The truth is, it's rather simple once you have the right roadmap. I thought I had to take a bunch of long exposures, but it turns out there's a simple trick for trying different compositions fast. The longer I spent with Casey, the more facts I thought I knew were corrected. After just a single day, my approach to Milky Way photography improved tenfold. So picture this. Before you even leave your house, you already know exactly where to find the darkest skies in your area. You have your camera set up exactly right thanks to a nugget of advice, and all you need to do is get out there and shoot. You arrive at the location without a single worry about composition. Finding the stars is almost automatic to you now that you know a couple of little tricks. You point your camera up and shoot. Less than a minute later, you've got a photo that's so exciting you won't stop shooting until all of your batteries are dead. 15 minutes later, you're adding all kinds of interesting foreground objects such as quirky trees, dilapidated old buildings, and winding roads to make your photos more striking. When you're done, you have a selection of photos so beautiful they command respect from even the most seasoned photographers. Images with so much pop and vibrancy, they're good enough to sell. Perhaps the most breathtaking, crystal clear, and exciting photographs you've ever taken. Sound far-fetched? Well, that's what I thought too. And then I attended Casey's workshop. Within one day of absorbing his approach, I took most of the pictures you now see on this webpage. Just one day. That's all it took for my work to take a quantum leap forward. Normally, the experts keep astrophotography techniques close to their vest because they can charge hefty fees for training. There's never been an easy or affordable way for regular people to master Milky Way photography. Until now. Introducing Milky Way Mastery. Milky Way Mastery is a high-definition video course on the art and science of astrophotography. It shows you how to take magazine-quality pictures of the night sky without being a pro photographer and without fancy equipment. Casey Kiernan and I collaborated on this course, and it's the first of its kind. It's the only course taught by an award-winning photographer that reveals the methods that weekend photographers can use to great effect. The secret to exceptional astrophotography isn't your gear, it's how you use it. Milky Way Mastery shows you how to use average equipment to take above average pictures. Pictures like this. The skills you're going to gain include the exact camera settings we use 98% of the time, make good shots foolproof. How to use the North Star, to know which constellations you're shooting, why most panoramas fall flat, and how to make yours great. The lazy man's way to know if your photos are over or underexposed. How to capture more moments by triggering shots automatically. Where and how to focus for maximum results. The do's and don'ts of white balance and color temperature. 5 simple accessories I never leave home without, and you shouldn't either. How to use the 500 rule to know the ideal shutter speed for avoiding motion blur in the stars. The only processing software you'll ever need and how to make it easy to use. How to win friends and influence people with your photography, and much, much more. One of the best parts is that every technique is taught with common language. Even though Milky Way Mastery gives you an advanced skill set, it shares and demonstrates every technique without a bunch of jargon. Kathy Heenahan took Milky Way Mastery and had this to say. I have recommended this course to several of my friends who are going to visit some dark sky spots on their upcoming vacations. I told them that it is a very easy course to follow and that everything is explained without going into technical terms that people don't understand. My favourite part of the course was a video in which you showed us how to light a foreground object. I'd always wondered if I would be able to do that without having to stack photos. I liked the way the topic was split across several shorter videos so that you could just click on the one you needed without having to fast forward over things. Just a couple guys talking shop while showing you how to create the most interesting photos of the Milky Way you've ever captured. Below on this page, you'll find a free sample from our course so you can see for yourself. Even if you struggled in school or aren't the greatest at grasping new skills, you're going to be shocked by how easy it feels to absorb this information. We know that new courses can be daunting, which is why the course is only about 3 hours long, so you can get up to speed with Milky Way photography in an afternoon. You can download every video to watch at your convenience on any device. We've provided subtitles if you prefer to read along or are hard of hearing. There's a comment section if you have any questions, and you're invited to join our private Facebook community where you can share your stunning pictures. Perhaps the best thing about learning how to capture Milky Way photographs is the awe-inspiring effect it has on people who view them. Here's some comments and photos from past students. This was from Jim Talbot. What interested me the most about Milky Way Mastery was some of the more subtle techniques that Josh and Casey used. I'd never thought about doing long exposure noise reduction, and it definitely helped. We dialed in our lenses to infinity before going out to shoot, and that was a huge value since all of our photos are now crisp and sharp. This photo was shot using a Tamron 15-30 at f2.8. Janice Morgan said, I had never seen the Milky Way before, so I knew nothing about how to photograph it. But as we were traveling to the western part of the US for the eclipse, I started watching your videos to see how I could capture a picture of the Milky Way. You were very informative on everything from finding out when it was visible to how to set the exposure. Very easy to understand. I was so surprised by my results. Great course. I can't wait to get back to some dark skies. Lucky Murugesh said, I learned a number of important tips and techniques through the class, and I was able to apply them to these pictures. These are actually my first ever pictures of the Milky Way, and I believe I can do even better in the future, so stay tuned. And this was shot using an Olympus EM1 Mark II with a 12 to 40mm lens at f2.8. Kathy King said, prior to taking your class, I took a 1.5-day seminar. I left feeling completely confused. After taking your class, I had the basics necessary to get started taking photographs of the Milky Way. Your videos were clear and concise. This was shot using a Nikon 810 for 15 seconds at 22mm. Wanda Latch had this to say, I think the course is great for beginners. It covers most topics. I've been dabbling in astrophotography for some time now, so I did know a few of the fundamentals presented, but it was still interesting and I definitely learned things I didn't know. This was shot using a Canon EFS 18-135 at 18mm. Right now, you're one step away from Milky Way photography expertise. These skills are transferable to other areas of photography, and you'll have more mastery over your camera than ever before. If you think your gear isn't good enough, think again. Maybe the worst part about DSLRs is that they're complicated. The best part about DSLRs is you can do much more with an entry-level camera than 95% of photographers realize. You do not need top-of-the-line gear for Milky Way Mastery. In fact, during this course, we show you why some old-fashioned accessories can often be better for astrophotography. Of course, cameras are not created equal, and lenses do matter. but you don't need to get a second mortgage to capture jaw-dropping nighttime photographs. You can take much, much better pictures than you realize, and Milky Way Mastery shows you how, with the free software we use for star tracking, a simple way to avoid camera vibrations, sneaky tricks for adding depth and interest to your photograph for a 3D effect, the absolute best kind of tripod head for astrophotography, and how to add illuminated foreground interest with a few simple steps and more. Kim Roberts took Milky Way Mastery and had this to say: "I signed up and I was blown away. I always thought that you needed a special full-frame camera for astro. It was really easy to follow, and I learned lots about settings, and I realized I was previously doing it all wrong. Then I got a chance to go to an observatory in South Africa and try to put everything I learned into practice. I can hardly wait to get out and try some more." This photo was shot using the Sigma 17-50 at f2.8. This can work even if you live in a light polluted area. We show you how to find the darkest skies near you. Did you know that the USA alone generates 1.1 billion kilowatt hours of lighting per night? That's the energetic equivalent of 2 hydrogen bombs. Startling, but true. All that light pollution has the nasty side effect of blotting out the stars. That makes astrophotography difficult unless you know how to find the darkest spots. And dark spots exist in almost every area. In Milky Way Mastery, we've dedicated an entire section to help you identify the darkest spots in your local area. We also give you a detailed strategy for planning your night shots so you can avoid wasted time. We go into detail on how to find the darkest skies near you for the best possible results, perfect for those who live in a light polluted area. An easy way to read the different stars and constellations in the night sky. The only shooting mode you'll ever need for stunning nighttime pictures. How to mitigate noise without post-processing. There's a half-hidden setting in your camera. And the secret to making stars pop. Even if you live in London or New York City, you don't need to travel as far as you may think to capture great nighttime photographs. But you need certain information, and you need a good plan. This course gives you both. Stephen Wyatt took the course and had this to say: "I must say I learned a lot through this course. I thought I had some images of the Milky Way that were trashed due to high light pollution, but I was able to get great images using your method. Thanks." And that's just 1/4 of the value you're getting. Here's the thing, I want to give you that knot of excitement you feel when you stumble across a jaw-dropping deal. So now that you know what you're getting with Milky Way Mastery, I'm going to quadruple the value. In addition to the definitive video course on Milky Way photography, you're also getting 2 of my highest rated courses and 1 premium preset package for free. Bonus number 1 is called Still Wall Photography Premium, a value of $97. Still wall photography is fun and easy once you know how to do it, but like all forms of photography, there's a right way and a wrong way, and in this case, a safe way to go about it. Still Wall Photography Premium shows you 5 strange items you need to successfully do still wall photography, how to play with fire while staying safe, how to fill the frame with sparks and flames, creative shapes you can make with the sparks, and how to make sparks fly in every direction. Hint, the steel itself is key. Bonus number 2 is light painting made easy, a value of $147. Have you ever wanted to explore light painting? Well, now you can, with the key strategies the pros used to do this popular form of trick photography. Light painting made easy shows you how to write your name in the sky, what camera settings to use and why, cheap and fun light sources to paint with, how to paint a scene the cheap and easy way, and examples of all of these being used in real photographs. And bonus number 3 is Lightroom presets for Astro, a value of $97. You're also getting the exact Lightroom presets Casey and I combine to make our Milky Way photography more powerful. These are pro-level presets designed to make the most of your raw files. Neither of us have shared them with the public before. They're easy to use and add more pop to your imagery. Beyond the presets themselves, you'll also get a feel for why professionals use presets. Seeing how we created ours will better prepare you to create your own. How much is all of this worth to you? So let me ask you something. If I could give you a guaranteed method for taking some of the most powerful photographs of your life, how much would that be worth? Taking great Milky Way pictures is on the bucket list for most photographers, myself included. There's something special about it. Knowing you can capture images that most photographers can't gives you this irreplaceable, exhilarating rush. Last year, I was on Big Island, Hawaii, and I ran down to the beach to capture the Milky Way in the sky, and boy did it impress my friends. I don't usually check this sort of thing, but it's my most liked photo I've ever posted on my private Facebook profile. Here, check it out. Not to mention, it's one of the most fun types of photography you can master. You connect with nature in a new way that really brings your portfolio to life. What more can you ask for? The thing is this, Milky Way photography is such a unique area of expertise that training can be pricey. Workshops of $500 or more aren't uncommon. That's the reason so few cross it off their bucket list. Personally, if I knew of a guaranteed way to master Milky Way photography and it only cost $400, I would snatch it up in a heartbeat. And I did exactly that. That's how much Casey Kiernan's workshop cost me, and it was worth every penny. What's fantastic is this course covers everything Casey teaches in his closed-door workshop, and more. Together we've expanded the content while making it easier to grasp and use. Plus, we're giving away Stillwell Photography Premium, a $97 value, Light Painting Made Easy, a $147 value, and Lightroom Presets for Astro, a $97 value, as free bonuses. But you won't be paying $740 today. You won't even be paying $300, or even half that. If you purchase Milky Way Mastery in a couple of months' time, it'll be yours for only $147. However, as I'm launching this brand new course, I'm going to halve the price again, to only $67. But there's a catch, so please watch carefully. As you can tell, this is a staggeringly low price. These courses together should retail for over $700, and you're getting all of them for less than 10% of that. But like I said, there is a catch. You see, in exchange for this discounted rate, I'd like to ask a small favor. When you get your copy, can you email me your feedback on it? This will require almost no effort on your part. You'll receive an email a couple of weeks after you get your copy, and you can reply directly. A single sentence would be helpful. And that's it. Pretty easy catch, right? I just want to get as much feedback as possible before I open this course to the public in a couple of months' time. For that reason, we only plan to offer this deal to the next 500 customers. I expect about 30% to respond to our email, and feedback from 150 people is more than enough to get all of the customer feedback we need. And even at this rock bottom price, you're still entitled to Expert Photography's world-famous 90-day guarantee. I stand behind every course that I offer. Over 50,000 students in 138 countries swear by my training, and my reputation for delivering top-notch material means everything to me. But sometimes a course just isn't a good fit. I understand that, and I don't take it personally. That's why I take all the risk away by offering my now famous guarantee. Get Milky Way Mastery today, try the course out for a full 3 months. If you aren't absolutely blown away by how simple the videos are to follow, how fantastic your pictures are after using the ideas, and how much fun you have along the way, simply shoot me an email. You'll get every penny of your money back, no hassles and no questions asked. Who else offers such a reassuring guarantee? You really have nothing to lose and a whole new set of wonderful picture-taking skills to gain by taking Milky Way Mastery. Click the big orange button below to get started right away, and you can be on your way to capturing your first Milky Way photograph in just a matter of hours. 3 months from now, your portfolio will have some of the most vivid and vibrant pictures of the stars above. Your loved ones will be amazed by how much you've improved. Your confidence will have grown immensely, and you'll realize just how easily the skills you've gained through Milky Way photography translate to photography in general. In short, you'll be a better, more exciting, and more excited photographer. But only when you choose to act. You see, some might choose to do nothing. They don't do nothing on purpose. It's usually procrastination. They bookmark a page like this, and they think they'll come back to it later. 3 months pass, and they find themselves in the same exact position they were before. Still thwarted by a camera that feels too complicated. Taking pictures that are not up to their full potential. Feeling the creative urge, but unable to turn what they see into real pictures like this. I wouldn't be where I am today, capturing professional Milky Way images while improving my photography skills, if I hadn't chosen to act. You have a chance to do things differently. Milky Way Mastery is your path to becoming a much better and more fulfilled photographer. But it's up to you to take the first step. The choice is yours. click the big orange button below to get started. And remember, you're getting everything you need to take magazine quality pictures of the Milky Way. And you're getting Stillwell Photography Premium, Light Painting Made Easy, and Lightroom presets for Astro for free. But remember, 500 is a magic number, so click on the big orange button below to get started right away. And if you'd like to see more happy customer testimonials and photos, you'll find a bunch at the bottom of this page. Thanks very much for watching. Josh Dunlop from expertphotography.com.